What's up? What is up? Man, I wish there was like a DJ mode in YouTube where you could just play music and you're just chilling, you know? But I guess if you wanted to do that, you would have to like not make money. I don't know how that works. I think ads like mess everything up. There has to be a way where I'm just chilling, dude. All right. This might be a little piratey, but like start my own stream, play whatever music, have no ads, but like, you know, kind of like, you know, a phone call. Like if you're on a phone, you know, when you're on a phone call, the guy could be like, you know, just at like a Taylor Swift concert, and the person's not gonna get like, isn't gonna go to court because they have music in the background. That's what I think it needs to be in some way. It needs to be like, I think just unfiltered in that sphere. Because I would love to tell you that most of the time I'm just here in silence. But I'm not. I'm like listening to music. I'm playing the banjo. Not the banjo, but close. Close. Oh, okay. So the last study session, I ended up finishing a book, which I'm not gonna lie to anybody, I haven't read a book, I think since college, since uni. A little shameful, you know. I don't know. Am I ashamed of myself? Like in a good way, you know. You kind of sometimes you want to shame yourself. You know, like what the hell am I doing? How dare you? How dare you, Adam, not read a book after like 10 years? You know, what's wrong with you? But it felt good. I read this book called The War of Art. I think I've talked about it a couple times, here and there on the channel. And I started reading this, I think, December. Maybe January. But in any case, it was like 165 pages. I know. I read 165 pages at night, at the 2 minutes before I go to bed. Dude, there's some people that gotta read a page a minute. It takes me 4 minutes and 30 seconds to read a page. And you know why? Because sometimes I'm like, I'll read something and I don't know, I think I had a really bad retention when I was like, when they were like starting to test me, they would be like, read this page. John went to the ice cream shop and got a popsicle. He met his friend Joshua, who was 6.4 feet tall, played basketball, and knew him since they were in first grade. John went at the store, bought his favorite snacks. he bought some iced tea and Sour Patch Kids. Kind of, just the average. Like at your deathbed or like stranded on an island, like pics. And then, what was his name again? There we go. I'm forgetting what my own story was. My point is that at a very early age, I think I have or have had problems focusing, and it's just like some people are. It's just some people are born with something. I know a couple autistic people in my life. Like, is that like, it's crazy to think that's a real thing. I thought autism for a long time was just a, kind of like an excuse for being, a little different, not in a bad way. It's just, I might be like, I don't know. People like, I just try to have like a centered mind. And I think reading really helps me center my mind, I think depending on the content, right? I'm not reading like 50 Shades of Grey. Has anybody read that book? Apparently it's like steamy. I mean, I don't read, I barely read like the most I'll read that's fiction. I read American Psycho. And I knew going in this was not going to be the center me in my reality. In any case, it kind of like I guess in some ways like opens up a new part of reality in your life that you never thought was possible. Like people like fantasy, like high fantasy, like the future. I mean, my first recollection of the future was it was this kid's book called The Jetsons. And I don't think it could have been a TV show first. And I read it because it was like, I don't know, my mom or something gave me a book of, it was like the Flintstones, the Jetsons. I think it was just those two, which is crazy, right? The Flintstones were like primedial, like primedial. The Jetsons were like a primedial human, right? Like the first humans. And then the Jetsons was like 2,000 years in the future. So that was like my recollection of like a new reality when reading. But no, I think this book really just helped like center some of my like your drive in life sometimes. Or if not help center it, just kind of helped build that like found some of that missing foundation, because I think along the way we build like this foundation for ourselves, and it starts, for me, I think it started in uni, because it was kind of the first time in your life where you could decide to quit and just walk away, and what are they gonna do, arrest you? What are your parents are gonna ground you? No, you either you live safe at home in some ways, or you really just cut the rope, and man, I just don't know if I was prepared to do that at 18, prepared to just completely have no support. That's kind of what I was running into. I was running into a situation where I really no support unless I went to school. And I think some people feel like that. I mean, if there was nobody else in the world, and one day you woke up and it was just you, contextually speaking, would you still do that one thing for the rest of your life? You know, is it something you actually enjoy doing, or something you do to impress others or fit into somebody else's agenda? Man, I felt like that. I feel like pulling away from that for a long time. So that's kind of like what this book helped me to do. It's helped me pull away from other people's agendas in some ways. Dude, some people are born with like, fuck you, I'm gonna do my own thing, or just like maybe raised that way too. But yeah, I mean, I know that's kind of like a weird topic because I don't think people really look at what they're doing day to day, or maybe something that they're committed to for their whole life in some ways. Because I don't think you go to be a doctor for 2 years, you know? I'm not gonna go try out and be a doctor. I think that's crazy, you know? Like, if you commit to being a doctor, then you commit to being a doctor. I don't think, because it's like 10 years, right? You got to go through like a 4-year normal. That's the prerequisite, right? It's like you need to at least spend 4 years. And then you go to, if you're gonna be a knee surgeon, you got to do that for 2 years, right? Your final test is probably with like your doctor, right? With an actual doctor. Yeah, that is very interesting. Yeah, there's some things in life you could just try to do one day, for one day, you know. And that's like very interesting, that if I wanted to join the circus, I could kind of join it for a day. You know, I could go be a clown. I could literally right now just put on a wig, put on the craziest costume I could think of, and just put makeup on, and really just look like a psycho. I think clowns could be psychotic, but maybe, I don't know. I think that's a controlled psychosis. 'Cause do you think most clowns are like psychos? I like that. I like that premise. Clown psychos. Is there like a book about that? Psycho clowns. I was once a psycho clown. I lived in a very small town. I had a lot of cool friends living in the streets. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Na 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 na. So yeah, my next book is gonna be Friedrich Nietzsche. Friedrich. Friedrich Nietzsche. Man, what the fuck, dude? I just ordered this book like um dude, anybody Friedrich Nietzsche fans out there? What's up, Exotic Exodus? Exodus, dude, I've heard that word before. I just don't know what it means. What does that mean? Exodus. I was looking up a couple words today in my book that I ended up finishing. Because I think when you're first reading, every other word is new. You're like, I'll look that one up in 2 weeks. You know, some words for me, I'll look that up in 5 years. Like, when am I gonna see this one word again? You know, but there was like maybe half a dozen words. I was like, I've seen this before. I should probably improve my my dictionary. What kind of guitar is that? This is a custom Mexican guitar. I don't know what else to tell you. This my grandpa. Well, okay, so my heritage is Mexican. I don't. Is that like correct? My heritage is Mexican. So my family comes from Mexico. So my grandpa. So my grandpa is from Mexico. I've been playing since I was like a teenager, and he wanted to gift it to me. So he had it made in Mexico. Mexican guitar, and it's from this like local Mexican, like two guys run it. Two little Mexican guys run it. So true, that's the reason I got an e-reader to instantly look up words. Oh, I used to carry around a dictionary when I was like in high school, I think. Even like at some, yeah, I think that's it, because I had a phone by then. You could just look up stuff on your phone. You could look something up on your phone. You could find the answer that answers the question, what's gonna happen when you die? I'm just kind of riffing right here. I like this type of like storytelling when you play like something and you could kind of tell a little story. It's a classical guitar, which means nylon strings, which are like usually they're all steel, but the bottom three are made out of nylon, and the body is a classical body. It's like what makes the guitar style, and the tuning pegs are they're usually the tuning mechanisms are like kind of like reversed, where they're on the outside of the wood instead of like I don't know if you can see the dimension, but it's like, you know, in between the pieces of wood. And I have another guitar, but the wood, it was like too soft to hold metal, so like the knobs are loose and I would have to like put wood in. It's a dilemma right now, so I'm not dealing with it. I think I might retire it. I've had it for like 10 years at least, but you know, it was like the first time, like it was like the guitar I got while I was in uni, so I have some sentimental value towards it. I really try to let go sometimes. Sometimes I feel like smashing stuff, you know, just like like smashing my keyboard. Have you ever felt, has anybody here felt like just throwing their keyboard against the wall? Or out the window? 'Cause I wanted to. No, wait, hold on. 'Cause I wanted to. 'Cause I wanted. See, the thing about like finding a melodies is just you kind of start with humming. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Da 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 da. Na 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 na. And then you put words to that. Someday I wanna fly somewhere out of the sky. And da-na-na, you know. You could go on and on and on. But yeah, dude. I'm kind of like gonna miss it because I usually have it just like right here with my other things. So it's become like a friend, you know? I don't know. Do you guys feel like that with like any of your gear or books? I kind of want to light it on fire just to like commemorate it. Should I I want a story. I want a story, you know. I'm gonna use my my Japanese lighters. Watcha. They're MK. Okay, here's the warning that says on the back if anybody's interested. And this is at like 3-point font, which is incredibly tiny, so I think I'm gonna have to test my eyesight here. Okay. Oh my god, I might need glasses. Warning, keep away from children. Ignite lighter away from clothing and face. You don't want to light. I've lit my eyebrows on fire before. Accidentally. Be sure flame is out after use. You don't want to put it back in your pocket when it's still lit. They should say that, like in parentheses. Be sure flame is out after use, or else your house will burn down. That'll be fun. Contains flammable gas under pressure. Okay, what does that mean? Contains flammable gas under pressure. I mean, I know what it means, but you have to kind of really spell it out. This will blow up, is one way to say it. I guess maybe they don't want to say that. It's kind of like yelling, bomb! This can act as a bomb. They don't want to put that there. Never puncture. Put in fire. Exposed to heat. Above 125 degrees. Or to prolonged sunlight. Oh. Dude, don't take these out during summer. Imagine you're like, it's a hot day, you're sitting there at the beach or at a picnic. And you're just there sunbathing or whatever. I don't know, whatever you do. And you take out the lighter because you need to burn something, you know. It's up to you. I don't know. People burn, you know. People burn stuff. You know what? It's a really good thing I've learned was burning plastic. You can burn plastic and it'll like shrink. Like I had some plastic rope and I cut it, but the ends had the flare, whatever it's called, like at the end of a rope when you cut it. But it's plastic, so you can melt it with a lighter, you know. And you can like close it up. All right, I'm gonna burn this. I've never burnt a book before. Feels, I don't know. I feel now I'm thinking twice about it. Who here has burnt books before? Unless you're like at a protest or maybe, you know, maybe ordered by like a priest to go burn books or something. Or they used to like get rid of like cultures like that and like purify them is by like destroying their culture. Okay, I think I'm gonna burn the first page. Turning, okay. Here we go. Now this is paper, so it shouldn't combust. There we go. Try to make a wish. Oh, I like it. It looks like it's, oh, you can't really see it that well. There it is. I'm gonna look at that and I'm gonna wonder what the got some ash here. Wasn't it like, I don't practice organized religion. I think it was like Ash Wednesday yesterday, where they put like a cross on their forehead. Ash Wednesday. Where I live, Christianity is like number one. Christianity or Catholicism, or the combination of them, is like the number one religion here. It's just interesting the culture around the religion, you know, like, I don't know. For example, when you go to church here, I don't know about now. I know there's a lot of different cultures that have like now built churches, but for a lot of like US history, when you thought of a church, you thought of a Christian or a Catholic church. You know, the one about Jesus. And that was just part of the culture here. And it's interesting that just because even if it's a religion you're not following, you still like you're still around it. You're still a little affected by it. You know, people use crosses. People say, I say bless when somebody sneezes. I say bless you. But I've you know, I've been to church like twice in my life, maybe 3 times. So yeah, but anyways, I wanted to come on here to share that I finished a book, and just to check in, you know. I'm like constantly like figuring out like what's the simplest content I could put out, and right now I think it's just this. Maybe I'll make like a video and just speak about a specific topic. Because it's just what it's the fastest thing I could do in like not a lot of time during the day. I'll probably still film other videos. They're just probably for the purpose of a video at a later date, but I just not a lot of time right now for me, so I'm gonna brainstorm here and figure out if I want to try something out that's a little different. Yeah, so I'm still busy at my, finally moving into a new place. I got painting. I had to paint the walls because the carpet is like old, and I'm just trying to like fix a couple things before I end up moving. So I'm still doing that, and I haven't technically moved anything. So it'll probably be another couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks before I start even moving. So I kind of wanted to get this done as quickly as possible for the sake of any consistency in my life. But I think it's just, I might try to use that as an excuse to like vlog, like more, like what I'm up to, what I'm, just maybe old stuff I find that I'm like, dude, I've had this forever. I gotta get rid of it. Or the opposite. I've had this forever. Thank God I kept it. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out the direction of this thing. And yeah, I'll be around, if I'm gone more than a week, I'll probably just make a post just to let you know. But we'll see, taking it day by day with everything. So I hope you guys too are also keeping it together. I'm keeping it together. It's just like, that part of your life where it's just more of a transition and really hard doing stuff more produced at this point as far as content. So the breaks might be longer, they might be shorter over the next 2 or 3 months. But I'm just trying to keep it real, But I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for stopping by, everybody, and have a good weekend. And I'll probably come back on next week at some point, maybe on a Thursday, Wednesday, who knows. So see you guys. Bye.